Hey, what's going on, guys? So this video is non-scripted, so if I stop for a split second to gather my thoughts, that is why. Alright, so as you can tell from this title of the video, we are talking about the crashing issue in Apex Legends, and for me personally, it has gotten to the point where I don't want to play the game that much anymore because I'll be recording having a killer game and it crashes. Like for an example, there's a clip in this video where you're gonna see me have 4 kills or 4 or 5 kills, be in the top 5, ready for more action. I was on fire that game, about to grab gold armor, my game crashes. It's games like those where, as a content creator who isn't consistently on this game, I've been like that with even sports. When I was a lacrosse goalie, when I was on fire, and when I wasn't, I was okay, but when I was on fire, I was insane. So when stuff like that happens, when I'm on fire, and the game crashes, yes, I can still use the video. I can make a talk over video like I did last time, talking about the game, but I think it would be a better experience and a pleasure to play the game if it didn't crash in the first place, and if it did crash, not as frequently. When I first started playing the game, it didn't crash whatsoever. It was fine. I could play it for a week or two without a single crash. My buddies, though, they were crashing here and there. And I thought it was the hardware because they don't have the most up-to-snuff components in their PC. Yeah, as you see, I found out that was not the right answer. Now, there's no loose ends in my setup. There's an i7 clock to 5 GHz, there's a GTX 1080, 32 GB of RAM, and it's even installed on SSD. I don't know any loose ends in that setup. Hell, my monitor is a 1080p 144Hz Acer Predator monitor. Okay? There shouldn't be any loose ends in my setup. Now, as I briefly said in my last video where I was talking about the 3 things they should add to fix the game or to correct in the game, I talked about a quick connect feature for the meantime until they fix the crashing issue. But either the day before or the day after, they announced they will not be introducing that feature. And at the time, I thought it'd be a perfect correction for the issue, but later talking with my buddy, we both came to the conclusion that it would actually be worse because players would be disconnecting and then reconnecting, so it'd be even more strain on the servers at that time. Now you could say, oh, they should update the servers. Yes, they should, because Respawn also created Titanfall 1 and 2, and I'm pretty sure other games as well. So they have the know-how to fix this problem. Because Titanfall 1 and 2, as far as I know, do not have this crashing issue. And if they did have this crashing issue, it obviously wasn't as prevalent because I never heard of any major issue with the crashing. My buddies played it here and there. One buddy of mine always played it and never complained to me about it crashing. Then again, though, it also could be like the same thing with my buddy who plays with me all the time, who never crashes, but I do, and I have a better setup. So it could be so many different variables that Respawn is actually trying to figure out, but still don't know what's causing it. It could be a script malfunction in the game. It could be certain areas with looting, because I find most of the crashings happen when I'm about to open something. Maybe I'm wrong, it's just a quick idea because I'm trying to think back. Whenever I'm looting, crash, I'm opening a door, crash, and sometimes it just crashes in general. So maybe it doesn't matter what I'm doing, it just crashes out of crashing. Now, as I briefly talked about earlier in this video, I'm not always on fire. So when I'm on fire, I want that footage to be full until we die or we win. Now, I've been lucky, it crashing when I'm on fire has been pretty sparse, But as I'm playing longer and longer, the game crashes all the time. I was playing last night, for instance, and it crashed 4 times back to back after an hour of playing. That is unbelievable. 4 times in an hour. And it wasn't like play for 20 minutes, crash, play for another 20 minutes, crash, then play for like 5 minutes, crash, crash. It was like play for an hour, crash, 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 crash. That's very, very frustrating when you can play more demanding games and it just chug along, choo 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 choo. I did the math, and if my math is correct, out of a week and a bit of footage that came to 5 hours, and about an hour of it was crashing. To be more exact, around 45 minutes to 50 minutes of gameplay was crashing. That, if my math is correct, that is about 7.5% of my footage. But if I'm only getting 5 hours a week of footage, and out of that 5%, only around maybe an hour of it is solid footage, like that puts it into perspective how much the game is crashing. Out of that, say, hour, take that 40 minutes, that's like 2/3 of the game crashing. And so it gets to a point where I don't want to record the game anymore. But personally, I think this game has so much potential to kill Fortnite, except the crashing is getting in the way. Besides the crashing, there's not a whole lot of flaws. For a game that released so unannounced, it's pretty polished. Yes, the hitboxes aren't the best for some characters, but they're trying to fix that. But there are other things that have to be fixed before they fix the hitboxes, like the servers and the disconnecting. Personally, this game is so much fun. When it doesn't crash, I can play this game for hours and hours. There hasn't been a game like that with the Borderlands franchise and the Metro series. Besides that, there's not a whole lot of games where I can play front to back over and over and over again and still have the feeling that I'm still playing it for the first time. Now this game, I've met other people playing it, and I don't want it to slowly fall apart and have this game that had so much potential, but they couldn't fix one issue of the crashing. I don't know how it's affecting other streamers or content creators. I'm not that big enough to be in the loop. But what I do know is, for someone who's a smaller content creator, it's very frustrating how AAA studio not quickly fix a solution where they'd have the backing of EA. Yes, EA has been known to be a really shit company from time to time, but I think for a game that is creating them so much income, they would back it up. EA's stock, I think, raised 20% or $20 after the release of Apex. It was going down, then Apex came along and boosted it back up. So if I was a publisher of a game, I would do all I could to make sure that it would rise and not slowly fall because of crashing. Now I'm gonna get into the technical stuff now. I'm not super technical when it comes to server stuff and client side and server side and all that stuff, but what I do know is it seems like the servers are hiccuping, like it's not enough oomph. And that could be due to RAM shortages, that could be to the internet, that could be to the CPUs, it could be that the power supplies are not up to snuff and the servers are pulling too much energy so it's shorting out, or so many different things. Now AMD has released very competitive CPUs with lots of cores. And for what I understand, as somebody who's really into technology, with the game, you need lots of cores to run servers. Yes, with a decent clock speed, and they have those with the Epic Line CPUs. Same with the Threadripper. And I'm pretty sure they're all unlocked, so you can actually overclock them. Yes, the first generation of the Zen processors didn't overclock significantly, but the refresh of it had better overclocks. And then with Zen 2 coming out, we're expecting way better IPC performance because it's on 7nm. It has 64 cores, 128 threads, and they're supposed to be priced really reasonably. So I think as somebody if I would put myself in their position, I would for sure upgrade my servers with those technologies, with those CPUs. And maybe that's what they're waiting to do. Is to wait for Zen 2 or Intel's offering and see what one's better and then go with it. But we don't know when exactly it is launching. There's a press conference coming up, I want to say on May 27th or April 27th, where they're going to be discussing the next gen Ryzen, aka Zen 2. And personally, if I was the CEO of that company and I called the shots, that would be what I would invest my money into, because they have enough money now from Season 1 and all the skins to buy more equipment. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not to do with the service. It's to do with bugs in the game. The script's not working right, and games being games are gonna fix one issue and cause another. There's so many things that I cannot say why this is happening, why it's not happening to other people. But what I can say is, it's most likely the server's hiccuping. It's most likely client side. It's sure not my side. It shouldn't be. I think now if I keep on talking, I'm going to be beating a dead horse. So, hope you guys like this video. And as always, have fun while you're gaming.